We're broke. In America, each American has their own definition of broke, because there's levels to our wealth, but we're all broke. You gotta think about that. The person who has $2,000 in their checking account, but like their savings are about done. So 401k, they're waiting on a withdrawal request to come through the mail or to come through direct deposit. That means we're broke. When we're starting to withdraw from our IRA accounts that we are not supposed to touch because you lose a lot of holdings, like we're starting to, and here's something I want people to understand. We will never admit we're broke. We have too much pride. That's such a non-American thing to do. That is such a disgusting thing to be in America, is broke. How do we treat our homeless, guys? We treat them like disgusting, vile beings. We treat them like vermin. We treat them like rats. Why? Because they have no money. That's something we are so insecure about as Americans, is our money, our personal money, our liquid money, our cash, our available balance, whatever you want to call it. Money we have direct access to, money we don't have to jump hoops through. You see a credit card, you got to jump through hoops. You got to have a good credit score to negotiate a fair APR, and there's no fair APR. Everything's 30%. Like, not only are we broke, we're being charged for every little thing. I wake up, I blink, I have contacts in my eyes, that's a charge. I have to charge my phone, that's another charge. I paid my phone bill today just to use the internet, but I have internet in my home on top of that. Why am I paying double internet? I don't know. Everything is a charge. I love getting on the train and not paying because I just feel like it's something to balance things out. We are broke. My friends aren't taking vacations. People I know that could afford a vacation are not taking it. You know, they're holding things back just in case. See, when people who normally have the means to do stuff stop doing stuff and are saving money for emergency, that is scary. When Americans don't spend, when we don't consume, that should shock everyone. I mean, I don't know the world outside of it. I think the global economy will be fine, but America's economy will fucking crash. But let me tell you something. We have a lot of foreign investors' pockets they invest in our companies, and if our companies go down, so do their investments, and they invest trillions at this point, and they have their own like a lot of foreign investors, they set up bank accounts here, and that would go down too. So it's not in the interest of anybody globally for us as the U.S. economy to fall, and it's gonna happen. I feel like you guys, you can't budget your way out of $10 gas a gallon, $10 a gallon gas. You can't budget your way out of that. You can't budget your way out of $300 worth of groceries every week. You can't budget your way out of, fast food being like $45 for one person. I don't understand where the disconnect is. And at the same time, that as our economy is going down, these companies don't give a shit about us, and it couldn't be more blatant, and it's so in our face. And in the age of we're past the age of information, but it's so in our face, like what they do to our food, how harmful it is, how available they make it, how cheap they make it, it's like we're in a system that is set up to squeeze us tight, and no matter our income, we feel it at every level. It averages out. Being an American right now is very tough because nobody likes us, and we're used to being liked. We're used to being the prettiest in the room. We're used to being the one that everyone wants to be like, or everyone wants their pockets in, or everyone wants a piece of, or everyone wants to fuck an American. Let's be honest, okay? All of you want to fuck an American. If you could, you'd fuck an American, okay? Don't. You would fuck an American if you could. Because we're the shit, and we will die the shit. But like we are not popular right now. We got in a fight and we lost, and everybody saw, and we're embarrassed. Okay, and not only that, they robbed us. They took our money. This idiot. This fucking idiot, this Trump guy, my president. He's not my president, but he's my president. Like, unfortunately, when I'm addressing the world, I have to call him the American president, the U.S. president. I wish Americans would see the scam. All of our federal dollars are going towards him and his friends and his friends' friends and all their buddies and their interests and their like our federal tax dollars, the ones on our pay stubs that says federal tax deduction, whatever amount that is, it's going to them as cash. What do you think these government contracts are? What do you think it's funded by? Whose salary do you think is tied in within the terms of the government contract total that gets charged to us? How do you think Elon is a fucking almost trillionaire, whatever the fuck, billionaire, the richest man in the world they want to call him? How do you think he's like that? Because he has a contract, a U.S. contract, he has several. He wants to take us to Mars. Who's going to Mars? Nobody's fucking going to... Are you going to Mars? Are you getting in that piece of tin and going... You're gonna stay on that motherfucker for like, what, 6 years? Not gonna run out of fuel? Oh, wait, there's gonna be a docking station. There's gonna be a gas station in space. Get the fuck out of here. And we get the fuck out of here. Your grandchildren's children's children wouldn't go to fucking Mars. Are you kidding me? Go to fucking Mars. Who's going? He wouldn't go to fucking Mars. Him nor his fucking clan of fucking freaks wouldn't go to fucking Mars. Clan of fucking freak bitches. If you have a baby with Elon Musk, you're a fucking freak bitch. I don't fucking understand how the... You know what? That's not the point of this episode. I apologize that I went off on Elon Musk a little bit. It was actually kind of funny. I really appreciate you listening to my podcast. I want to take a moment to say thank you, and please share the episode with your friends, family, and your followers. Follow us on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, follow me on Twitter. I talk a lot of shit, so you might get annoyed. So, like, if maybe not follow me on Twitter, but you can look. I have an Instagram, and that's it. So, yeah, back to the episode. I don't know what it's going to take for us to, like, get back on top. And, what I hope for a future president, maybe not the next one. I don't have much hope for the next one. I think for the next at least 4 to 6 elections, it's going to be, if we have another 4 to 6, it's going to be like a back and forth between like a MAGA legacy with JD Vance and whatever JD Vance and Erica Kirk are doing. They might not win, but we need to do something about these fucking podcasters thinking they could be president. I'm sorry, Tucker Carlson, you cannot be president. I see the chess pieces moving. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am 30. I remember clear as day you talking shit about black people, about is Muslim people, like calling everybody with a hijab a terrorist. Like, I remember that shit on Fox News every night, or Fox 12 in Arizona. So Don't I haven't forgotten, and I will let Gen Z know, like, absolutely not. Just because he's on a fucking podcast with Timbuktu and Jelly Roll, like, who gives a fuck? Next, let's have Joe Rogan, fucking Secretary of State. Like, are you serious? Put me in there. Put me as First Lady. I'll get shit done. I'll really get shit done. Put me as First Lady. Ozempic for pedophiles. Day one. I'm tired of the shit. You either get on the shot or you're gonna die. I don't make the rules. I mean, I do now. Ozempic for pedophiles. I thought about that the other day. I'm like, you know what? We'll really fix this thing. Ozempic for pedophiles. Like, we really need, like, a solution, because we're not gonna kill them, which we should, which would absolutely solve a lot of problems. Like, it would serve as a deterrent for sure. If we, like, the amount of, like, data we have on these pedophiles, like, whatever. That's a whole nother episode. But Ozempic for pedophiles, you heard it here first from me. America has a institutional pedophilic they have like a pedophilic institutional. You know what I'm trying to say? An institution of pedophilia, and it's invisible, but it's not, and it's ran by a global network and sustained by a global network. Like, it's so bad. And then I want you guys to understand, my whole life, I was told that Americans were the best. That Americans were number one. And I never doubted it when I was young, and I never doubted it growing up, because we had so much propaganda. We had so much, like 9/11 should have told me, like, hey, we're not so tough as we think we are, if, like, this could happen, you know what I mean? So, like, 9/11 was really like a crack in the mirror to me, because it really showed me how vulnerable we are. And the more I grew up, and the more I realized what happened during 9/11, what had to have happened in the background with the hijackers going to school in Scottsdale Aviation, and how long that took, and how it was funded by companies that originated in the U.S. and were started by U.S. citizens. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy once you really dig into it. How these people were trained and funded and picked and selected, and how long it took. And, like, this was a methodical plan. This wasn't an overnight plan. This was planned over years. And nobody talks about that, about 9/11. Is that this was a calculated plan. And plans like this take time. And I want people to think, how many people's shoulders, how many games of telephone, how many, like, cover-ups of, like, burner phones and burner laptops and, like, burner emails, and, like, were they, like, sending pigeons, or were they, like, communicating telepathically? Like, how the fuck, unless it was an inside job, did this happen? So that got me thinking, like, my country is not so trustworthy, and it's not so safe. Because 9/11 never fucking made sense. Fucking mean two Twin Towers, like, go down. What fucking mean two planes, like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Plane ran into one of them. I know what happened, but, like, oh my god, it's so traumatic to think about it. To really, really, really think about the mentality behind who was the mastermind of it. And it's not Osama bin Laden. Fuck out of here. Osama my ass. So after 9/11, I would say it took me like 10 years to figure it out, like what was going on, because I was 6 when 9/11 happened. So when I was about 16, I was like full of angst, My aunt was in the army, and then we finally caught Osama, and then we killed him. Then we dumped his body in the ocean. So I lived through that whole thing, the whole climax at the end of that war. But that war didn't end until till I was 26. So another 10 years. Which is crazy. So being an American, a real American, I guess, it means a lot of different things to different people. And I wish people would understand that. Some people never wish to be an American. Like, I'm Native what is called Native American. A lot of people drop the American and they say Native. A lot of people don't say Native and they just say their tribe. And I respect it all. You know, we were here first. And to be labeled as American, like, we were forced away from, like, a lot of our, like, settled areas. In Manhattan, on the, a lot of the buildings, instead of gargoyles, well, along with gargoyles, there's a lot of heads of Indian chiefs that are cut off, and they are engraved in the marble and in the stone on buildings, on like ancient buildings. They're not ancient. They're like buildings that are like at least 100 years old. It is crazy. It's disrespectful. And if you ask someone like me who's half Navajo and half Black, like, my definition of a real American is who I am. I feel like Black people by default are real Americans because they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be here. They did not ask to be here. If you trace all their ancestors back to the first slaves that were brought here, you think the slaves will just want to go back home, wish they could go back home, and wish this never whatever, like the whole slave trade situation, the horrible situation, wish it never happened? Like, of course. They didn't ask to be here. So a part of me feels like I didn't ask to be American because I was here first. And a part of me feels like I didn't ask to be here in the first place. But since I was brought here and I was abused and I was made a slave and I was robbed of my identity, of my language, of my culture, of my tribe, of my family, and I'm made to cook for you of a white person. You know, I'm made to raise your children and like pick cotton and like all this shit. And you want to label me as something less than like, and then you have me build the land and build the White House. It's so traumatic. And then they like steal everything from the natives, you know? So it's like, I do feel like a real American. But if you ask a white man, am I a real American? He's going to say absolutely not. So it depends on who you ask. And unfortunately, it's like that. America is very, very racist. And I wish people would understand that when they come here, when they want to migrate here, when they want a like better life, quote unquote, a better life, or what better life? I really, really want to know what this better life is. Because when you come here, you're going to be judged based on the color of your skin. You're going to be treated less than accordingly. It's just the way it is. And I wish people come here and they complain like, why are Americans so mean? And blah, 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 blah. I came here, I did all the work and blah, blah, blah. You're fucking brown. You're black. Sorry. You're a nigger to every other white person. There's a hierarchy here. And it's not that white people are bad, it's just that they're treated better. America's racism went institutional about 40 years ago. Nobody wants to talk about that. You know, I don't know where we go from here as Americans, you know? Like, I don't know, like, but my wish is that we collaborate. I think a better future is a future together. And I know some Americans are thinking that is a death wish, but it's, or a death sentence, or whatever, however you want to frame it. I don't think so. I think it's a death wish, alienating ourselves, putting ourselves up against the whole world, taking over countries that are allies of bigger countries than us, that are our enemies, supposedly. I think it's dangerous to keep spending money we don't have. Fucking, we're almost $50 trillion in debt. You might as well call it 50. I don't even know if that amount is with interest. And oh, fuck. We can't pay it. I don't know who needs to hear that tonight, this morning, this evening, this afternoon, but we can't pay that debt. There's no way we're paying that debt. The Chinese can fucking come in anytime and say, give me your phone. Give me your phone, and bend over and open wide. No shit, they could fucking do that. Give me your phone, give me your laptop, with a gun to your head. Like, it's like either that or pay us. Like a war with China would never pan out the way we think it would. There is no USA. There is none of that on Chinese ground. On Chinese soil, there's none of that. What we did in Abu Ghraib to the Iraqi soldiers, putting fucking, like, what, tasers on their tits, making them pose like animals, and like torturing them, and like putting cigarettes out on their bodies. Like, I don't know what that girl did in the Abu Ghraib photos, but like there will be none of that with Chinese soldiers. No taking pictures of torturing Chinese soldiers. They'll be taking pictures of torturing us, you know, raping us and putting it online. And like, like, no joke. A war with China would not pan out the way we think. There's more of them than us. And they're smarter than us. And people like them more than us. Sorry. China and Russia and Iran put us in the corner. Literally. We can't do shit to open the Strait of Hormuz, to get oil, to drive down the price. I'm surprised it hasn't risen farther past than what it is. What's the average? Like $8 a gallon? You can't, like I said earlier, you can't budget your way out of $10 a gallon. Something's got to give. You either got to give up your car, or give up your job, or give up whatever is taking so much gas. Because you still have to go and buy food. No one's walking to the grocery store. You know what I mean? Or like some services like Uber are going to increase. A lot of Uber rides go to Waymo cars. Which, for those of you who don't know, this is not an ad, by the way, but Waymo is a self-driving car service, and they have vehicles in downtown Phoenix that, because we're the testing ground, Arizona is a testing ground for a lot of like food, like menu items, and a lot of like things such as self-driving cars. So I don't know why, but like that's what we are. I love the Waymo. I will admit, I lost my purse in the Waymo. Oh my god, I lost my fucking purse in the fucking Waymo. and it was the worst because I had to go to the headquarters of Waymo to get my purse. They couldn't Waymo me the purse back to my original pickup spot. I was so mad. I was like, you can't reverse the fucking Waymo. And they're like, no. I'm on this fucking self-driving car. Like, oh, I was so mad. Anyway, I'm lucky that I got my purse. I'm grateful that I got my purse back with all its contents because I was panicked. I tried to run after the Waymo. Oh my god, that was probably a funny sight. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm embarrassed all over again. I feel so uncool as an American. Like, I don't want to go to like another country and go to their bar and then ask me, are you American? I'd be like, no, not American. Like, I can't even do a fucking accent that's not outside of any of the 50 states. That's embarrassing. But I'd be like, no. I remember being young and like making fun of anybody that was foreign, especially if they were Asian. Well, no, I didn't personally make fun of them, but like the class wasn't like, as a collective, like you either a bystander or you were someone teasing like someone that was being Asian. And that's why I said because like I was part of that bystander. I didn't stick up for anybody that was getting made fun of until I was like older. But like in elementary school, I remember like, anybody that was foreign, like they stuck out a lot because they were made fun of for being foreign, because I feel like there was such a superiority of being American in the air that all of us felt because we were born here. Being born here used to mean something. Now I guess it's up for debate. I don't fucking know. You know, I don't feel any ways about the whole born issue, and I don't feel like Native or Black people should either. And if white people want to make that the issue, they obviously don't feel like they obviously feel excluded from the conversation. So what they're talking about, if you haven't read between the lines further enough, because remember, America's racist. So once you put the lens of that racism on top of whatever issue you're looking at that America has, people that are born here, whose parents are not from here, aren't seen as real Americans. And that is racist. I don't know if I hope that cleared up things for people. That's what the real sentiment is, or behind when like some people say, are you a real American? Or when someone asks a foreign person, when I say foreign, I mean someone that's not from, like someone that's not me, someone that is not Native or Black. I ask them, where are you from? And that could be seen as kind of like racist. I don't do it that way, but I haven't since I thought about it that way, like years ago. I'm like, Candice, it's kind of offensive. It's kind of racist. You asking like your nail lady where she's from. And I'm just like, well, so she told me, my nail lady, she told me she's from Kentucky. And I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, well, where are your parents from? Then I'm like, that is so offensive. And then I'm like, why? But I just want to know like where she's from, because she's obviously not from this land. Like, to me, I'm not asking natives like where they're from. That's just fucking offensive. I'm not asking Black people where they're from either, because that's fucking offensive. Because like with the history, but like if I see someone like who is like Scandinavian looking or like has a London accent, I'm gonna ask where they're from. Or someone that's like white but like looks like John Travolta, I'm gonna ask where they're from. Like, excuse me, I like to know where people are from. I don't know where America's gonna go from here, because we don't have the right to be a bitch anymore. We don't. Someone's gotta, like, need us in order for us to be on top. And I don't think we're that needed, unfortunately. You know, our ideas were copied. We used to compete amongst ourselves. Now we compete against the whole world. And frankly, when it comes to AI and certain technologies, I think China is leading. I think we, as a collective, are just using AI to try to make us money and trying to make us try to make us do as less work as possible. And it's killing our environment. I mean, one data center, like, I looked at the machinery, I looked at the part where the water, like, where it uses water, like, how much water is in that tank, and that's fresh water. And it's like, it just evaporates as the AI runs. As the AI, like, every time you press enter in a prompt on your AI Cloud or your AI ChatGPT or wherever you use your AI, every time you Google something, if you don't turn off the AI mode that is automatically switched on when you go on Google, by the way, if you don't turn that off, you're contributing to, you know, it's not at this point, it's not even anyone's personal fault, because our jobs are using AI. Their jobs are using AI. Like, our phones are AI. Like, we're on social media that use AI. Everything is AI. Everything was made with the aid of the AI. And it's getting to the point where it's like, I don't think we should point fingers. We just need to stop and take a. I've watched this country go fucking batshit crazy over global warming, and that's debatable. But this shit is not fucking debatable. Okay? Our fresh water is being evaporated for graphics, for memes, for Excel spreadsheets. What the fuck? And then as a consequence, another consequence, we're getting fucking stupider and stupider and stupider. I am from Arizona, and we have the lowest in education ratings and test scores across the board, reading levels across the board. We are the lowest. What? Stupid people don't vote because they can't read. Stupid people don't become professionals because they can't pass a test. Stupid people, there used to be a time when you used to laugh at kids for being dumb. There was a time when we used to point and laugh at kids like that kid over there, dumb as fuck. Favorite color is 5, that kid over there. Like we used to make fun of kids for being stupid. We need to bring that back. Now it's like, my kid has sensory issues. I'm tired of talking about my kid. Like, fuck your kid. And and the reason he has sensory issues, let's talk about it. It might be because of the food, or a lot of these marijuana moms, these cannabis moms out there might be contributing, you know. I'm just saying. I was smoking a lot of weed with pregnant bitches, but like, I don't smoke weed with pregnant bitches anymore, but like, I used to when I was like in middle school. Anyways, that's besides the point. This is Candice with the Manic Candice podcast. Thank you for listening. Please share the episode with your friends, family, and your followers. I'm gonna get some tacos. And yeah, I bet you do me's and me's. Bye-bye.